Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Cliff Kelker. I'm the Director of Training and the Director of the North Central Georgia Law Enforcement Academy. I'm over accreditation as well. The path is long. To get to Lieutenant Colonel, I started out in the military, and I got out of the military, threw a dart at a map, and it landed here in Marietta, Georgia. But I just got this urge, this yearning, this calling to do something about what I felt was tragic circumstances facing a lot of people in regards to drugs. At the particular time, it was the crack epidemic. So this voice in my head kept going, hey, if you don't like it, do something. I felt the urge to join the Marietta Police Department. They hired me back in 1991. I found myself drawn to working in those communities that were marginalized and were very poor. I worked in what we considered the projects or the government housing. I took on a role in there early on in my career. I had a desire to be involved and to provide help. I didn't feel there was any place in a community where I worked in law enforcement that any law enforcement officer should be concerned about going. In other words, we should work to make that community as safe as we would if our families were there. So I went to Jonesboro as Chief of Police. I did some great things. I love the things that happened. Some of those things are still happening there in Jonesboro right now. But the fact is, my heart was here in Cobb County. So I had to determine which community I was going to be a part of, whether it's the Cobb County family or Jonesboro. Well, Sheriff Owens made that easy. I knew him from working law enforcement throughout the past 30 years. He's been up here a long time. I too was here in Marietta at the same time, and he expressed some very, very good goals that I felt I would love to see in a sheriff's office, particularly the sheriff's office that polices where I live. And I was all on board with that. There are 3 distinct accreditations that Sheriff Owens wanted. And he advised me of this prior to him being elected, that this was his goal, to get the Triple Crown. He was ready to get that moving, so I remembered that. And I did what I could to gather the right folks and make it happen, because you know how the sheriff is. He ain't trying to hear nothing. He's matter of factish, and I can appreciate that. The best quote from Martin Luther King that I really enjoy and I apply to everything is that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And it's important to realize that this fight is not a short fight. It's nothing you may even see in your lifetime, but the key is that you move things forward. You move things forward for the time that you have here, and someone else can pick up the fight and continue it as we go forward. And that's important to remind those new kids that, hey, there are challenges for you, and so when you see them, address them. But you're not fighting against a person, you're fighting against ideas. You're fighting against people's principles that they've come up with. Don't make it a personal against person fight. That's not what this is. So you can win today by demonstrating what righteousness and moral courage looks like, and that's what we're asking you to do today. Even though we have to deal with those issues where we're singled out and targeted, as a people, we have to maintain that we're here about righteousness, fairness, leadership. Our goals should be transparent to everyone involved, because we need to let them know that it's not about just all for us and none for anybody else. That's not the objective here, nor has that ever really been the objective, but some people try to perceive it as what the goal is for African Americans and black people in this country. But it's not. We're looking for fairness, so we should be the example for fairness when we deal with any situation. So as we become leaders in organizations and we become people in charge, our elected officials, we should be the example for equity and fairness. And we should also demonstrate that and require that of anyone in our ranks. We need you. We need you as a person. We need you as an individual, the character you have. We don't need you to be anybody else. We need you to be who you are and to take this role as a law enforcement officer. It's in you. Let them know that we expect a lot from them. They are a very smart generation. We look for so much. They're actually leading us forward, this technology and everything. You're actually the ones we come to explain that to us. So we want you to take on this role as leadership and to set new framework, new groundwork for how this should look in the future. But you got to own it. You got to say, I'm committed to this. We want you, and remember, if you don't do it, who will?